If football was a school, then do you know who would be the principal? Yes, the man who gave birth to the modern football, Johan Cruyff. If you look through the history books of football, some have forever changed the game of football into what it is today. You'll hear names of all-time greats like Pelé and Maradona. However, there was one more player in Europe who came right in between them, and pioneered a completely different style of football, that forever changed the game. One of the most skillful and graceful players ever, Johan Cruyff was a very rare generational talent. As a child his skills were already noticeably different from everyone around him, that when he was spotted playing in his local playground at the age of 10 with the neighborhood kids, an Ajax youth coach living in the area, would notice Cruyff's abilities and immediately offer him a guaranteed spot in the club's youth program. No questions asked and no trial even needed, knowing with pure confidence that he had found something special. Imagine how good he was. 7 years later, at the age of 17, Johan Cruyff would make his debut for the men's team. At a time when Ajax was literally at the lowest point of its history, finishing at the lowest standing in the league table. Since the club itself was founded just a year later, the 18-year-old Cruyff would prove that he indeed should have a spot in the starting lineup, and ever since Cruyff had solidified his spot in the starting 11, he absolutely dominated in every single match he played. Cruyff literally made an immediate impact for his club, scoring a total of 25 goals in 23 appearances, a 1.09 goals per game ratio, leading his team from the worst season they've ever had just a year ago, into becoming the 1965-1966 Eredivisie champions. All this from an 18-year-old player who just had his first season being in the starting lineup. And Cruyff didn't even play as a forward, but as an attacking midfielder, directly responsible for the flow of his team's offense. Cruyff would be directly responsible for making Ajax the dominant club giant in the Netherlands. And the next season he would go on to completely shatter them, as he would go on to score 41 goals in 41 appearances. Once again carrying his team to another league title and adding his first Dutch Cup trophy. At that point, Cruyff was expected to do for his club every single year, and in the 1967-68 season, he would lead them to a third straight title with 34 goals in 40 appearances, finally earning his very first Dutch Footballer of the Year award, which for some reason had managed to escape him the past few years, but finally could not be denied from him any longer the next season. While Ajax finished 3 points behind the league title champions, Cruyff would still produce an absolutely amazing 34 goals and 23 assists, in 43 appearances. An incredible 0.79 goals per game ratio, while also having 0.54 assists a game, winning his second consecutive Dutch Footballer of the Year award. Despite the lack of success, that season nobody had doubted Cruyff for a moment. As in the 1969-1970 season, he would once again help his club win a double, with the Eredivisie title and another Dutch Cup trophy, producing absolutely mind-blowing numbers, by scoring 33 goals and delivering 34 assists in 46 appearances. 0.72 goals per game ratio and an insane 0.74 assists per game ratio, being the only player to ever score at least 0.30 goals a game, but still have more assists in a single season. Cruyff had been incredibly consistent, putting up amazing performances, but had yet to take his club to the very top of Europe. That would all change in the 1970-1971 season. That year Cruyff had scored an incredible 6 goals in a single match to lead his club to the Dutch Cup, and finally cemented his team as the world's best by winning the European Cup, which if you didn't know was basically the old name of the Champions League, which is recently won by Real Madrid. He would score 27 goals and have 15 assists in 37 appearances. 0.73 goals per game ratio, helping him win his third Dutch Footballer of the Year award, and his very first Ballon d'Or. The 1971-1972 season would see even greater success with Ajax, winning the league title with Cruyff leading the league, and winning the Dutch Cup. Cruyff would score the 2 goals in the final to win the European Cup once again, basically completing the treble for Ajax. A treble is achieved when a club team wins 3 trophies in a single season. A treble involves winning the club's National League competition, main National Cup competition, and main Continental Trophy. He would end the season with 33 goals and 10 assists in 45 games. And the next year Cruyff along with Ajax would once again win the Eredivisie title, and go back-to-back repeating the European Cup, something that had only been done by 3 clubs in history, the most recent being Real Madrid's Champions League three-peat from 2016 to 2018, winning a Ballon d'Or and win his 4th Dutch Footballer of the Year award. This was when football pundits and managers at the time had noticed a new style of football, that Cruyff's playing style had enabled, which would eventually become known as total football. Cruyff was so skilled and diverse that he basically moved back and forth from midfield to up top, as a playmaker as well as like a whole player. Pressing on offense, which is most simply like how Lionel Messi has been playing for the last several years. This theory of football requires a player skilled enough to do that, and Cruyff was a master in such tactics. By his pure skill and ability alone, this total football had led his squad to an incredible perfect record of not receiving a single goal for 2 seasons, spanning from 1971 to 1973, which had never been seen again in total. While playing for Ajax, he would score 273 goals in 375 appearances. An incredible 0.73 goals per game ratio. As an attacking midfielder, Cruyff is also well known for his time in Barcelona, when he transferred to the club in the 1973-1974 season, for a world record transfer fee at the time. He immediately made an impact by scoring 24 goals and having 4 assists in 38 appearances, helping Barcelona beat their rivals Real Madrid and win their very first league title in over 14 years. In his 5 years at Barcelona, Cruyff only managed to win 1 La Liga title in 1974, and 1 Copa del Rey in 1978, scored 85 goals and had 15 assists in 227 appearances, while delighting and putting on a show for countless fans, with his skills in dribbling and scoring some amazing goals. Cruyff would also invent the iconic move known as the Cruyff turn, while playing for his national team in no other than the 1974 World Cup. Cruyff would feign a pass before dragging the ball back, and turning 180 degrees to surprise and get past the defender, and eventually gave birth to many other similar moves. And the World Cup is one heck of a place to pioneer a completely new football move. In fact, we still see this move being used to beat defenders. Till this very day, Cruyff was also incredible for his national team. In that very same World Cup, Cruyff would lead his team to the final, scoring 3 goals and having 3 assists along the way, but unfortunately would lose 2-1 against West Germany. Cruyff's efforts in 1974 earned him a consecutive Ballon d'Or award, the very first of a small list to ever win the award 3 times. His career had 402 goals and 108 assists in 702 appearances. 0.57 goals per game and 0.15 assists per game ratio throughout his 20-year club career, and an international career of 33 goals in 48 games, a 0.69 goals per game ratio for his country. However, Cruyff would leave an even longer-lasting legacy when he returned to football as a manager. He spent 3 years at Ajax from 1985 to 1988, being known as an innovator in attacking play style. Cruyff was also amazing at spotting talent, like when he scouted Marco van Basten and Dennis Bergkamp at very young ages, and helped them develop their foundations. He would also return to Barcelona in 1988, as one of the most iconic managers in the history of the club. Cruyff would essentially lay the foundations for generations of future success at Barcelona. Within his 8 years in the club, Cruyff won 4 consecutive La Liga titles, 3 Spanish Super Cups, 1 Copa del Rey, 1 UEFA Super Cup, and 1 Champions League title. Cruyff also helped push Barcelona's La Masia Academy to further develop the club for long-term success, and brought in iconic Barcelona players like Pep Guardiola, Ronald Koeman, and Romario. Cruyff's coaching doctrine of total football and innovation of the 4-3-3 lineup would be one of the first uses of a defensive or holding midfielder, and the modern attacking midfield, which has even been used as a blueprint and building block of Pep Guardiola's famous tiki-taka style of football, as well as many other positional theories we see in the game today. Cruyff was in many ways one of the innovators of the modern game of football, both as a player and a coach, being one of the most influential footballers in history. Cruyff passed away on 24th of March 2016 at the age of 64. But he will be forever remembered as he has affected the game in unforgettable ways, and his name will continue to be spoken as long as the beautiful game is still being played. But that's all for me today, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe and turn those notifications on if you haven't already to see the best football documentaries on YouTube. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.